Hello friends and welcome to bspsolutions.com. My name is Amit Sharma and today I am going to show you how to load data from flat file to Oracle Essbase. We will be using Oracle Data Integrator. This is my third session. If you are new to Oracle Data Integrator, how to install configure in Oracle EPM environment, please do watch my previous video. In today's video, I am going to talk about all the hands-on activities which you require to perform in order to load data into Essbase queue from flat file. If you're new to ODI, please do watch my first video about ODI introduction. All the keyword jargons I use in that video. So in my today example, my source is going to be a flat file. I would be using Synopsys as an intermediate staging layer, and we would be using Essbase outline the target. So let's get started. Well, first step, let me show you the source queue and the data. I'm going to load data into my Essbase queue, Essbase outline sample basic. This outline ship along with Oracle Hyperion installation when you select an option installing sample application. If you do not know how to install Hyperion application, different components, please do watch my installation video as well. So there are 5 dimensions I have got in this queue. You need not pay attention to attribute dimension. So we have data for January, February, March, for year, major, sales, product, cola, market, Florida, and scenario actual, and finally you have data. This is my sample data file. In the first example, I've used a simple example so that you understand actual process of loading data from flat file to Oracle Essbase Cube using ODI. So let's get started. First, you log into your ODI Studio. I'm using the ODI Studio which ship along with Oracle EPM installation. Connect to your repository. Default user is supervisor and password is Synopsys. So step first, I'm going to create a physical architecture of my source. My source is my flat file and my target is my Essbase queue. So first we configure source. Create new data server. Define server detail. So I name it file Essbase Data Load. And define driver details. I'll be using JDBC file driver, default driver, and then we define driver URL. As I'm not defining any properties, then I just go with a JDBC URL. Save this. It is asking you to configure one physical schema. So next step, I right click and create new physical schema and define the folder where your source file exists. So here you define directory schema and work schema. Define the folder where your file exists. Click on save and define the context. It says you define the context. So I create a logical architecture and map it with physical architecture. So your source is going to be a flat file. Right click on your logical and create new logical schema. File Essbase load data load and map to physical. Click on save. The all activity for topology for source file has been done. Now we go to designer and create new project and do reverse engineering for flat file, kind of reading all metadata. So create new project, file Essbase load, Essbase data load, and then I'm going to import a knowledge module because my source is going to be a flat file and my intermediate layer is going to be my Synopsys memory engine. So I need to use load knowledge module, file to SQL, node knowledge module, Oracle Hyperion data, and Let us import this. Next step, we create model, create new model folder, and then we create new model. Okay, let's create a new model folder called file Essbase Data Load, and create new model. Right click, create new model, and I define other details of my model. My technology is flat file. Schema, define file Essbase Data Load. Go to reverse engineering, and because this is a flat file, I create data model, data source, and define other details of my flat file. So point to your data file which you're going to load and name out of it. So file sample basic. Define delimiter. I have one first row is a header row in my case. First is a header row, and delimiter is a comma. So I use comma delimiter. Click save, and you go to column section and do reverse engineering. Your ODI has read the entire metadata. First 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns are string, and 6 column is data. You see, we can define one-to-one mapping now. Done. Now we do the same stuff activity for our target, which is my Essbase cube. So right click on Essbase cube, create new data server, define server name, sample basic, Essbase sample basic is my cube name. Data server, my Essbase server is running on the local system, so I can write IP address, name, or localhost. Define credential, save it, and it is asking you to define a physical architecture. Define a physical schema. Right click on your Essbase and define physical schema, and define your application name, database name, where you're going to load data. Save it. It is asking to define context. Context is not specified. So I go to my logical architecture and define logical schema. Right click, create new logical schema, and map to my physical schema. So I call this sample Essbase sample basic load. Sample basic is my name of application database respectively. Save it. Next step, I go to designer and create a project for Essbase. Create new project, Essbase Data Load. Save it. Import knowledge module. We can do this later on as well. We'll check what knowledge module require. We need an LKM from source to staging and IKM from staging to Essbase queue. So I can load knowledge module. I need a reverse engineering knowledge module, RKM, to reverse engineering of your Essbase queue, RKM Hyperion Essbase. I need load knowledge module and file to SQL. Essbase data load and file to SQL. You can take a pause and see step by step what all I did. I'm going to create a model and do reverse engineering for Essbase as well. Create a model folder, Essbase, sample basic, save it, create new model, right click, new model, name it Essbase sample basic. Select your technology, is going to be Hyperion Essbase. Logical schema, go to reverse engineering, go custom reverse engineering. You have got a couple of options here. In case your data is coming from multiple data column, you can select an option multi-data column, multiple data column. Data column dimension is my account dimension, and column, if you have a specific column, you can define name over here. Right now I'm going to be generic and save it. And I click on reverse engineering. If this is submit as a job, I click on OK and go to my operator navigator and check the status of my job. This is going on. Refresh. If meta read is done, I would be able to read all the dimension members. Let's check. My ODI should be able to read all the dimension member. Refresh. It is done successfully. Check. All dimension member would have read by now. See. So you got all dimension, year, market, major, got 5 dimension, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all dimension red. Okay. Now we create an interface, and the final step is to define mapping and execute our interface. So right click on your Essbase Data Load, create interface, new interface, define interface name, Essbase sample basic data load. Define mapping. So source is your flat file, and target is your Essbase cube. The mapping is straightforward one-to-one. It is asking you, do you want to perform automated mapping? Say yes. The automated mapping is done because the name is exactly same. Alternatively, you could drag and drop and map it as well. So if you look at the flow to find your staging area is same as Essbase, which cannot be done. So you change your staging area from Essbase to Synopsys Memory Engine and look at the flow. So you find LKM from flat file to intermediate, and we need IKM from our staging area to Essbase. To define ILK, import IKM, integration knowledge module. So I right click and import. So SQL to my Essbase, SQL to Essbase. This is done. Now the last step, I need to define the load rule file which I'm going to use to load this data. So I already prepared one load rule file. I show you before I actually invoke this from my ODI. I like to invoke it manually from here. First I clear all data just to make sure I'm not bringing some other data. And this is my load rule file, data load rule. And let me show you my data file as well. This is my data file, right? And maybe I have not given my header, so I give a header. Header row is first row is a header row. So this is good. I can invoke this from my ODI, or if you want, you can, for the sake of testing, you can invoke from here once and test it. Point your data file and point your rule file. We look at the summary, 3-cell modifier. This is what I wanted to see. So you can check the output as well. Right click and preview data just to make sure the data gets loaded successfully. We'll check the same data intersection, January, February, March, sales, COLA, Florida, actual and 100. So I go to quarter 1, January, February, March, major sales, product 110, which is COLA, market is Florida, and scenario is actual. Right, data got loaded, the same data you see, isn't it? Let's do the same thing once again. I clear it and I invoke from ODI interface. So go to ODI interface, select my target, define your load rule file, You have option called load rule. You see data load and define delimiter, which is default delimiter is comma, right? Default delimiter of the flat file is comma. And that's it. You're good to run your interface, execute your interface with log level 6. It is started. Look at to operator navigator and continue to refresh it. So wow, everything done successfully. Data load is done. Sample basic data load is done. Finally, I'll check my output in my Essbase queue, because last time I deleted data. This time when I run it, I still have data. Data not loaded for January, so I think it is considered as a 2 header. The header is considered from my uh, data load rule file. It is also considered from my ODI as well. So we can correct this. We can ignore header from my source file. Okay. So that's it for today. Should you have any question, you can write to us bisptraining.com. Thanks for watching today's video.